Hello, everybody. It is the one and only Pacific. This video is titled Just This Week. Thought I'd do something different. Some of you are going to go, man, you running out of ideas, Pacific? No, I'm not. Just this week means this is what goes on with me in just a week. The ups and downs of Pacific's EKG graph of life. Go to work on Monday, first day of school. Had my bus all ready and clean, and something was wrong with it. Had to write it up, and mechanics pulled it, so I'm back in a spare. Fortunately, they gave me a spare that I drove most of last year, so it was already clean, and I was like, yes. I drive, we call them transit buses. They're school buses, but it's the flat front end with the Cummins diesel right underneath me. I love those things. They have power. It's kind of fun. Colorado, everybody seems to like to, when the red light changes, they don't. In the old days, people used to start their automobiles off graciously, but it seems that men, women, everybody, they put their foot right to the floor and punch it, just so they can be the first one to the next red light. It's kind of nice to have a bus that gets up and goes. And guys, I thought of you. You know what? It would be fun. You can't do this on a school bus, but I think these things are stupid, but it'd be fun to hang one of those set of brass or silver balls on the back bumper and say, yeah, this may be a bus, but it has some. So I get my routes this week, and my kids are good. I'm like, hey, a lot of little kids, And I don't have 67 junior high students this year, so I'm just totally celebrating every day inside and giddy and beside myself going, my routes are easy this year. And it's cute. Second day of school, one of the kids gets on, throws his arms around me, and you can only give him a half-arm hug. You don't touch kids today, but it's teachers come out and they said, the kids told me they like riding your bus. And I said, well, yeah, we play music and we have fun. And I'm strict. I'll give you an example. The other day I was going down the road and I had 7 little kids, and several of them have hearing aids. And they're nice kids, but man, they were wound up. And all the way down the road, fart sounds and on and on and on. I've learned over the years that you just kind of chuckle, and as long as they're not destroying each other and they're sitting down, I just kind of tune some of that out. But then it was just getting to a crescendo, and I finally said, hey, okay, guys, enough of the toilet noises, please. Yesterday I'm driving, and it's been hot, 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 90s, 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 and the rain began to fall, and the kids wanted the windows open, and I didn't care. I thought it's just water, and it wasn't pouring in on them, but it was just nice. It cooled it down. And some kid brought one of those old oven timers with the big face dial, and he kept ringing it and ringing it and ringing it, and the kids were giggling. And it's, there are times when I look in the mirror and I just smile and go, kids are so full of life, and the kids are back there reading it. And one kid says, let me borrow your timer because I'm only going to read for so long, and when the timer goes off, I stop. So the kid says, well, I'll set it for you. And every 5 seconds it's ringing, and the kid starts laughing. I didn't get any reading done. Just funny, And then the little black girls with their hair done up and all the little things sticking out. It's like she gets on and she goes, you're funny, bus driver. And then the music was playing when I pulled up at the school, and the kids get on and they start dancing. And I do love kids. They just, one little black boy gets on and starts singing the song on the radio, and I have one black kid who's just so mannerly, so polite, gets on with his little backpack and his little pass. They're making the kids use a pass system now. They have to flash it and swipe it on the Zonar system, and it bleeps when they get on, and then they swipe it when they get off. And it shows to a computer that they did get on my bus and they did get off. It's pretty sad. We're living in bad times now. Kids go missing, stuff happens, and at least now they can track that, yes, this student was on Pacific's bus at this time, and then he disembarked at this time. And At least if something happens, they can know where to start. So, moving from my driving life, oh, by the way, a couple incidents is noteworthy. First week of school, loading zones are always complete pandemonium with parents parking in the bus zone and buses coming up and tapping the horn and the parents not moving and them getting out and giving the buses dirty looks. And you just want to yell out, "Ma'am, you're bringing your kids to school to learn to read and write. Maybe we need to put you on the bus so that you can read that sign that says school bus loading zone only. All others, no parking, no unloading, blah, blah, blah." The other day, I'm pulling up to a right turn lane. It's marked a right turn lane. It says no parking. A woman in an SUV pulls out, stops, and I thought, I don't even have time to honk and get into it. So I swung around, went to go around, and there was a car in front of me, so I had to stop. The dingbat suddenly gets back in her SUV and starts moving. I honk the horn like, whoa, 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 because I'm very close to her vehicle, and she throws her hands up. What? Another white woman who doesn't have a brain in her head. Parking in a turn signal zone. Okay. Turn lane, excuse me. And then I just watch the people doing their dumb stuff. But moving into the workplace and several people talking to me, and there's a black woman who, well put together, nice woman, and I'm going to say this, she always likes to talk to me. She always calls me over and talks to me, and I invited her to lunch once last year, and she says, "Oh, I would never go into a public place alone with another man." I thought, not even in public, or a restaurant? She's a Jehovah's Witness. Doesn't believe in doing things with males. Told me that her church teaches her she is not even allowed to hang out with guys as friends. Nothing. I don't like the Jehovah's Witness religion because it adds a list of rules and do's and don'ts. They're not found in here. Though there's some good principles that might keep them moral. But it's funny. She sees the freedom and life in me, but she lives in her prison cell. She always calls me and wants to talk to me, and there's so many times I look at her and go, I just know she wants to be free, but her system of belief will not allow her to be so. But I'm kind to her. She's a nice person. But it's funny. I wanted to say something, viewers. I asked her one day, I said, "Do you have kids? Is that any of your business?" I've asked her simple, innocent questions that we would normally ask somebody. I asked her the other day, I said, "Do you own your own home or do you rent?" She goes, "Now, why do you think I should answer that?" And I said, "It was just making conversation. I didn't know if you were a homeowner because you said you painted and stuff in your house and all that." And she refuses to answer any questions. And even another guy who's a Jehovah's Witness sat down and said, "Pacific, don't ask her anything. She won't answer anything." And he wasn't rude to me. And I said, "Yeah, I see that." And she goes, but let me ask you something. She goes, "Go up and ask any of these women in here if you rent or own a home." And I said, "Okay." So I called one of the meanest of the bunch over and I said, "Hey, do you own your own home or rent?" She goes, "Honey, I've owned 3 homes. I own mine right now. I don't rent." And I looked at her and I said, "See, she didn't get all funky about it." It is amazing that there are some people that carry themselves deliberately contrary-wise. I remember years ago I was at a library. I took my son to a reading program and there was this blonde woman who wasn't really all that, but she was slender and she thought she was hot stuff. And I didn't flirt with her. I was married then, and she was very condescending when she talked to the children. The children in the reading, she'd go, "Crisscross applesauce," meaning sit down. And I thought, what's with this? Guys, I'm sorry. I just don't like women being cutesy and fake to kids. I hate it. I see it all the time. Those teachers and women that are really good with kids are those that are genuine to them. The kids love them. But the ones that are fake and plastic, the kids can't wait to get out of their classroom or off their bus or whatever. So I asked this librarian woman who was younger than me at the time, I said, "Do you have children of your own?" Because she came off like she was such a child expert. Her answer was harsh in the tone that she said it, and I was like, wow, does she have issues or what? "I have many children in my life." And I said, no, I'm asking, do you have your own kids? I said I have many children in my life. I This was back in like 2003, 2004, and I thought to myself, you know what, dude? Don't ask her again. Clearly she has issues. And I remember the firemen came and brought one of the trucks to the library, and part of reading day was firefighting. And they had the kids leave the library, go out. And I watched her as she tried to kiss up to all the firemen. And I looked at her and I thought, you work it, lady. If they get to know the real you, they may think you're cute, but they're not going to be interested in you at all. But back to just this week. So I called a friend of mine, yes, a lady, a Filipina, who's very well put together. She's very muscular. She's very feminine, long hair down past her rear end. We dated when I was there. We took a ferry over to Llama Island one day and went roaming around on the island, went swimming in the ocean, the South China Sea, and it was a nice day. We had gone to lunch several times. We'd dance and sing together at karaoke and Alley Alley in central Hong Kong, and called her to see how she was doing. And she said, you know, I miss you. I said, I miss you too. And we were talking, and she said, you know, I want to be with you. And I said, you know, I can't bring you to the U.S. I've been through all my own junk with the gal I got involved with. And she says, but you know, I told you that I have an attorney in my family in the Philippines. And I haven't yet talked to her, but I believe that if I did, she could do things and process things where you could become residency. And I said, no,